Let's say that you love biology, but you don't really like math. As you're reading through your bio assignment and it looks like it's a math question. As the question asks you, how big would the ant leg appear to be at 120 times magnification? And you're thinking, what the is math doing in here? But don't worry, these questions are actually not that complicated, and I'm going to show you how to calculate size of the image and field of view with this equation right here. So let's get into that right now. Okay, so before we get into the numbers, let's consider the scenario that these calculations are for. It's for we're looking at a microscope slide here. We can see a tiny little specimen, and we're going to be zooming in on it with a microscope. So let's zoom in with our microscope. First, looking through here, I'm considered to be very zoomed out at this point, and I see the entire slide. The specimen looks really small, but then I'm going to increase my magnification, and then we see a nice cool bacteria standing there. He looks much more zoomed in. It looks like a bigger image. So to get a sense for how these numbers are going to compare, let's slide back up over here to compare what we were originally looking at. We were looking at this red circle in both cases. That's what I could see through the lens. And in this case, I was looking at a pretty big area. This one, I'm looking at a pretty small area. When I was looking up here, the specimen was really small. The image that I was looking at was really tiny. You can barely even see that it's a little bacteria. But the area that I'm looking at is big. And that means I can see like the entire slide. I can even see part of the desk. I'm looking at a pretty big area in real life. But next, when I'm going to zoom in on the image, I'm going to take just that tiny little circle and try to zoom in on that. But can you see that I'm looking at a smaller area? This is a small little place, probably only a couple millimeters across. So I'm going to look at a small area and blow it up, make it bigger in this image. So over here, as I zoom in, I'm going to get a much bigger image, but I'm looking at a much smaller area of the slide. And that's actually the big concept here. As I increase my magnification of the microscope, my image gets bigger, but the area that I'm looking at, called the field of view, that's why I put FOV there. The field of view that I'm looking at is going to get smaller. I'm looking at a smaller area. And that's really all that this equation is telling us. It's telling us ratios of how the field of view changes with the magnification and the size of the image. And looking at this, I can understand it's a bit overwhelming. There's 3 fractions, they're all equal to each other. It seems confusing, but fortunately you really only need two of these fractions. So let's say that it asked you about the size of the image and it didn't really say much about field of view. I could block that one out. And now I'm just going to look at what I have, and it's going to say on the top the high power magnification over the low power magnification, so zoomed in over zoomed out, those magnifications, is equal to the high power image size of the image over the low power size of the image. And this kind of makes sense. I have my big numbers on the top. When I have a big number for zoomed in, I have a big number for how big the image looks. When I have a low power image, a low magnification, it should look kind of small, which matches what I was referencing before. As we increase magnification, the image gets bigger. Let's put in some examples with some numbers. So I have 200 times magnification, and low power was 20 times magnification. And let's say at 20 times magnification, it was 3 millimeters big. What the equation says is, well, if I zoomed in 10 times on the magnification, my image should look 10 times bigger. So I get an answer of 30 millimeters. And that's really it. It just shows you how to set up these numbers so that you're applying the correct factor to see if it's getting bigger or smaller. If you were looking at the field of view, I'm going to shift that over here. Say I wasn't worried about the size of the image. It was asking me about field of view. This one is a little bit trickier because it seems kind of backwards. Here we have low power field of view on the top and high power field of view on the bottom. But the only reason that is so that it matches this big number on the top, little number on the bottom. Because remember, when I'm looking here, I'm zoomed out right here, I have a big number for the area I'm looking at. I'm looking at a big area. I can see the entire slide. So maybe that area is going to be like 40 millimeters squared or something like that. I'm looking at a big area when I'm at my low zoom. I'm going to go back here. It says low power field of view is a big number. I'm looking at a big area. Then when I zoom in, when I come to over here, and I'm going to be looking at high power, it says right here, high power field of view should be a smaller number. And we see these fractions make sense. As I zoom in by a factor of 10, my area, I'm going to look at a 10 times less area. I'm going to look at a 10 times smaller area. So it just had to flip it because as I increase magnification, I look at a smaller area. That's the only reason it's flipped, but the factor of 10 is really what it's helping us to apply. So let's try and apply that to this assignment question that read, consider that an ant's leg appears to be 1.6 centimeters in width at 50 times magnification. How big would the ant leg appear to be at 120 times magnification? So let's begin with writing the formula. I have all three ratios here, but remember I'm only going to need two. Let's look what it says in the question. I have a 1.6 centimeter width, that's like the size of it, at 50 times. And it's asking how big is it at 120. This isn't saying anything about field of view. Let's block out field of view. Now I just have to figure out where those numbers go into my equation. So let's start with the high and low power. It looks like we're at 50 times and then zoom into 120 times. So 50 times is low power, 120 times is high power. So let's fill that in, 120 over 50. Next, it told me 1.6 centimeters at 50 times. So that's at low power magnification. It's 1.6. So where I see low power image, let's put in the 1.6. The high powered image, that's what I'm being asked about. How big does it look at 120 times magnification? And if you can get to this step, you're in really good shape because you've done the hardest part, sorting through the information and putting into the equation. The last part is just cross multiply and divide. Okay, it's a little bit mathy, but hopefully it's not too bad here. Cross multiply, we're going to divide the denominator up to the numerator on the other side, which means 1.6 times 120. Okay, for that number I get 192. Then we're going to take the 50, cross multiply that, bring it up to the other side times x, and we get 50x. Now, some of you might be thinking, can't I just do 120 over 50 times 1.6? You absolutely can. This is just really just rearrangement for a variable in algebra. However, cross multiply and divide I found in my classes is just a nice thing for students to remember, and they're used to doing this process from earlier grades. So yep, you can just use normal algebra, but if cross multiply and divide helps you, it seems like it helps most of my students, then we'll use that to get through the bio since this isn't really focusing on the math unit. Okay, so at this point, you've done the cross multiply. What's after that is the divide. So we see I have 50x. I want to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide by 50 on both sides, and we're ready to finish the question. 192 over 50, and we get an answer of 3.8 centimeters. But just before you leave this question, it's good to always check that your number makes sense. With these fractions, it's easy to sometimes do something backwards, so let's make sure the number makes sense. If it was at 1.6 when I was at 50 times, now I went to 120, I zoomed in, and my number's bigger, 3.8. Yes, that does make sense. If I got a number smaller, like 1.2 or 0.8, that wouldn't make sense. When I zoom in, my answer should become bigger. So always good to check with that before you move on to the next question. Okay, let's do one more question with field of view. This one says, consider a microscope has an ocular lens of 10 times and an objective lens at 3 times. At this setting, the field of view is 35 millimeters squared. If the objective lens is turned to 8.5, what is the new field of view? Okay, there's got a couple things in it that are a little bit tricky. Let's start again with the same process, begin with the formula. Okay, sorry for this interruption, but while editing, I realized that for this equation, the field of view should actually be measured in one dimension, such as millimeters, and not in 2 dimensions of millimeters squared. This is because we considered the size of the image in 1 dimension, and therefore the change in field of view will be proportional in 1 dimension. It won't be proportional in 2 dimensions. I apologize for this error, but fortunately the fix is actually pretty easy. We just measure the field of view in 1 dimension like millimeters, and the equation is going to work exactly as explained. So I know that sounds complicated, but to fix it, just consider 35 millimeters instead of 35 millimeters squared for this example, and that'll be the diameter of the field of view, and this question still works, and we'll just get an answer that's in millimeters. Okay, so looking at the formula, I'm looking for pieces of information in the question. So it says ocular lens of 10 times, objective at 3 times, field of view is 35 millimeters. At 8.5 times with the objective lens, what's the new field of view? So we can see that this isn't asking about size of image, this is asking about field of view and giving me information about magnification. So I'm going to block out the image part and just look at magnification compared to field of view. Okay, set up this fraction here. Now I need to look for what I know, and this one's a little bit trickier because they gave me an ocular lens and an objective lens. All we have to know for this part is when you look through the ocular lens and then it gets magnified again by the objective lens, that's when we usually turn at the bottom, these two magnifications get multiplied together. So if I'm looking through the objective lens of 10 times and then a 3 times objective lens, this is just 10 times 3, it's 30 times magnification at this level. Okay, so it's just another little trick they might throw in there. We're at 30 times magnification at this level. Then when I switch the objective lens to 8.5, well, I didn't change the ocular lens. I'm still looking through 10 times. Now that's going through 8.5. So now just 10 times 8.5, the new magnification will be 85. So let's throw that fraction in there. 85 is the high power magnification. 30 times is the low power magnification. And I'll be honest, I didn't even really have to do that. That's good in that they could ask you what's the magnification at high and low power. But even if you forgot to do that and you put 8.5 and 3.0, this fraction still actually works out to be the same. You'll still probably get the same answer even if you forgot that part. Okay, let's continue on with the question. And now we got to figure out our numbers for field of view. And we look up in the question, we see that it says the field of view is 35 millimeters squared when we're at that original setting, the 10 and 3. So that's the 30 times magnification. So when at the 30, remember that's low powered image. So that number is actually going to go up here. Low powered field of view is going to be the 35. So let's plug that in, low power field of view of 35. And I put an X in at the bottom because I don't know what the high power field of view is. That's what it's asking me for. What's the new field of view? Again, if you're able to do this part successfully, you're in really good shape. Now we just got to do the cross multiply and divide, or algebra if you'd like to do that. But taking a look at our cross multiply and divide steps, we're going to cross multiply here. 30 times 35, that's going to give us a number of 1,050. And then we're going to go X times 85, and we're going to get 85X. Okay, we did the cross multiply. Now all that's left is divide. We see that X we want to get by itself. Let's divide by the 85 on both sides. 1,050 divided by 85. We get our answer of 12. Same unit as what we saw before, millimeters, 12 millimeters. But once again, before you move on, let's check to make sure this makes sense. So as I zoomed in, I started looking at an area of 35 millimeters. As I zoomed in, now I'm looking at an area that's 12 millimeters. That makes sense. As I zoom in, I'm looking at a smaller area because I'm zooming in on that small area. Always check to make sure that makes sense before you leave the question. And that's all that we have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you found that helpful and you're looking for more useful science videos, I have an entire course playlist. You can click on the channel here, and then there's just the latest video popping up here. So thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.